Hello, and welcome back to Roslyn. If you're watching on YouTube, I think this will be episode 14. Thanks for joining me live on Twitch if you're here. Obviously, the big news, we hit a humongous milestone, big town. This opens up a lot. First of all, it's going to give me that second area. I was talking about last episode. I'd really like to unlock 2 tiles together next, so that's going to be possible. Obviously, campus areas is a huge addition as well. More unique buildings, blimps, the intercity bus, and the metro is a huge addition. Leisure specialization, can have some fun with that. A lot of policies, and in these policies you can see there's tax raises and tax reliefs for high density, because we have unlocked high density zoning, which is very exciting, as well as the office zones. And then some new buildings. Obviously a lot of stuff to do with the new unlocks. And yeah, a couple of cool metro stations as well. So that's exciting. I haven't ever really used any of these down here. So, where we left off, I was filling this out. I think we're going to continue with that for now. I'm really excited to get into some of this other stuff, but these are going to be major projects. So for now, I may just leave this. I don't know. I think let me go ahead and throw some houses back in here. Start to figure that out, see how it looks, and then I'll go from there. Let's see. Can keep really kind of the same 2x3 lots there, I think. That should be like that. Just keep coming through like this. Honestly, I might make some of these just a little bit bigger as space allows. Here I might just go too deep because it's getting very tight, although I don't think there's going to be anything on this side of that road right there. Drop some houses in right there. And I'm probably going to come back through here later off stream and do some fencing. Otherwise it's going to get very fence focused very quickly. Of course we're not afraid of fences here in Roslyn, but I would love to get into some of the exciting stuff because I really did not anticipate getting to start this episode with the milestone. That's big news. Okay, got some houses going in there. Go ahead and get rid of that right out of the gate, because so the trick is when you do have the broken up grid like this, just come through on those straights first. Make your connection points, and then when you come back through, it's not going to be a problem. See, it's just going to sync up really nice to each one of those. And should probably put some water back through here. bring it back down. That should take care of everybody. Go ahead and throw one up through here as well. Okay, you can see now where this terrain is going to be tricky. Just back this all down. Yeah, I don't hate that. Honestly, those backyards can bump out a bit more on a couple of these. Might as well. Key to this is that I am not going to actually add the zoning in for those, because I don't want them to pull back even further. Though, probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. Just trying to level that out a little more. In fact, let's just do that, and we'll let it, I don't know if it'll do it automatically on its own or not, but is all coming in up here. So this is where the real fun with fences is, obviously. Save there. We're gonna have to see how this looks. Oh, we're gonna do that. Classic. Just go ahead and back this all up. Try to bring those backyards down a little bit. Just trying to level some of this out. You know, not perfectly again, but again, it's just going to create much more realistic fence lines, I think, if we do it the right way. Just kind of what I'm crazy about. Yeah, I'm gonna come from that angle, like that. That's fine. This guy. Just back all that up as well. Hey everybody, it's Trash. So I'm just breaking in here because this episode goes on for a really long time. Just a lot of detailing. So I'm gonna jump in a couple of spots and speed time up in post, just to make this a little bit shorter and give me a chance to actually add some commentary, because I was a little mumbly when I shot this because I was so focused on the details, because of course that is where the devil is. So I want to like zoom out for a second and talk about a sort of like four-pronged approach to detailing this neighborhood, right? Like, I mean, obviously the first thing is the roads. That's the bones everything is built on. But once the roads were down, there's sort of like 4 different features I'm using to create a look, right? The first one obviously is zoning. It's actually like allowing buildings to be built. The second one is fencing, which has its own struggles, as you're seeing me deal with right now. The like third key feature is terraforming, and then finally landscaping. So that's zoning, fencing, terraforming, and landscaping. Like those four things together are, I think, what really makes this neighborhood come together in a way that I honestly don't feel like I've ever had a hilly neighborhood come together before. Um, Trying to use the fencing as I finally, for the first time in like Roslyn, got off the grid in a meaningful way was really challenging, and especially to be doing it on a hillside where there's going to be a lot of fine tuning with the terraforming as well as um, a lot of creative landscaping opportunities, right? So it's like pros and cons for all of it. But I think it's just about finding the balance with the amount of time you want to put into the game is another key factor in it. As you can see, doing and undoing your fencing over and over again to make your lots look consistent on both sides of an uneven block is a process. But anyway, we'll get into all that later because right now I'm about to throw it back to myself to keep building in real time. So take it away, me. So getting some different lot sizes in here. It was inevitable with, I think, the very different setup here. We're gonna have to see some variability to things. Yeah, I got quite a fire breaking out right there. This area is well served though. Yeah, there's mini fire engines already there. Here comes proper fire truck. That guy's leaving before the job's done. Here comes another mini engine. Okay, we should be fine. Okay, this is starting to fill in here. Now let's just see if we can kind of smooth things over. Yeah. Yep. It's gonna be a little tricky here. That's okay. There we go. Oh, just gotta wait for stuff to pop in, honestly. It's gonna feel a lot easier to smooth out once all that happens. Back out and let some longer ones drop in there. Hey, it's me again. In post. So I'm just speeding things up again a little bit here because you've sort of seen how I develop one of these streets with the zoning and the fencing and the terraforming. Really, those three kind of all go together early in the process. The landscaping is really icing on the cake. Let's be honest, the cake has three ingredients. It's zoning, fencing, and terraforming, and then everything else is gravy. Because we're going to mix up the food metaphors today. You know, I think the one of the challenges of the hill is sort of like finding these spots right here, like with this fences going up, and deciding if you can live with it or not. Apparently, I decided I could this day. Who knows the next time I'm logged into Roslyn, how I'm going to feel about it. Because there's a couple of spots back in here that I wish I had taken a closer look at, I think, before building too much of. But always opportunities for redevelopment, I think. You know, these things happen. Again, just like pulling these lots up for the sake of that fence not riding on that cliff like that, you know? It just looks way more real that way, I think. And the landscaping is how I'm going to fill in a lot of these dead areas right here now, too. I'm really excited to show you my sort of process for fill landscaping that I've developed. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Right now, we're going to go back into real time. So take it away, me. And up here, I think I can get real big with it, right? Yeah, I think these should be some real big lots up here on the hill. Backed right up to the highway there. How's that for your nice big property? Of course, gotta check for water. One river pipe right up here. And probably wouldn't hurt to have one over here. Not going to zone there, so go ahead and bring this around. We're going to line right down there. Great, more stuff coming in. Hey, it's Post Trash again. I'm just speeding it up because, again, this is the same thing. Zoning, terraforming, fencing. Got a good look at the neighborhood there. I do really love the shape of this thing, I gotta say. There's some details that still need fine-tuning, I think, even after I'm done with this build, and a lot of detail in that fill that still needs to happen, honestly. I'll probably do that. I'm thinking about doing that like on stream but off YouTube, so follow me on Twitch if you ever want to do just like a detailed hangout stream. That might be fun. Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I don't have a ton of time before I gotta throw it back to real time, but just giving myself plenty of space there, only zoning those 2 deep for the purpose of having room for landscaping in the back there and really creating a terrace effect. That'll be really pronounced once these houses come in. Alright, back to me for a sec. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some palm trees up through here. I think this neighborhood's cooking right along. Hopefully this will alleviate our issues with the view there as well, sort of. And then I'm just going to start peppering these in here now a little bit. Hey, it's Post Trash again. Well, Past Trash peppers these in. I'm going to talk a little bit about landscaping. I mean, obviously, one of my big keys is finding the spots where it sort of makes sense. If you've never planted a tree, it's actually a great way to frame your thinking about the game, because planting trees isn't hard, but there are a lot of ways to make it easier depending on the location you pick. So I'm trying to think about that when I drop my trees down. I'm trying to think about, where's the public right-of-way going to be that the city might drop a tree. I'm not afraid to drop trees in a backyard either, even though obviously you wouldn't normally see the city budget going to planting trees, but maybe it's some kind of initiative for the residents. So there's all kinds of ways to retcon it if you're really worried about that. Ooh, that's a good look at the neighborhood right there. Again, I like that. Okay, let's get back into some more fencing in a really tricky spot here. So, back to me. Don't necessarily need fencing on something like that. Already got the hedge there. If I just throw historic on this, that'll keep that there. Get away with that. So with some of the fences, you will notice a difference if you go different directions. For example, on this one, I'm going to want to come down first, and then across. And I'll just do the same thing right here. And go ahead and drop that down. There we go. That's more like it. So that's really the one sort of there's a couple of tricky spots right here, I guess. Which makes sense. So what I could do is just shorten those lots. I don't know, I'm not too unhappy with this. It's post-trash again, just speeding things up again here for the landscaping one more time. Just wanted to show you that part with the fencing in real time, because sometimes realism doesn't necessarily mean uniformity. Sometimes it makes more sense to just leave a house with a hedge in a spot where you can't get a fence in. That's just how it goes. For realism's sake, because I don't want there to feel like such a disparity between the growth, I do want to flesh out the landscaping down here in the flat blocks. And using the vanilla landscaping, the original vanilla landscaping, very conscientiously, because a lot of it will create these dirt rings that's really going to change the look from mowed grass to sand, right? So I like to use that strategically around other sandy spots to make them a little expanded. You can line them along the sidewalks where you get the sand on the edges there, sometimes along the back or the side of a house, like right here. It's just going to make that, it makes total sense that there would be a row of trees right there. Could do them all around this as well. That's privacy, that's noise cancellation. Anyway, back to me. Just a little bit of detailing here and there. Spot where we'll do a drop in it. Just try to bring some of this back down a little bit. Not making that look too strange back here. That'll work. Just a little spot down the end there. Pop that back up. Okay. I think that works. We've created a really unique sort of look over here. Some of these backyards are still a little barren, but if I can get anything in back here. Pretty big. I wonder if this wouldn't actually be a good way to do the filler back in here. Because I do have a long grass I really like for this. What is this supposed to be exactly? Oh, it's bamboo. That does make a lot of sense. This stuff will pop up and grow like wildfire. It's so light though. Crazy about that. Let's see what else we got. So just for filling in some of these gaps, I can come through here with this long grass. give it this very sort of like unkempt vibe. And I can even just hold down the A button here and start to drop these back in. It's very tricky working with this stuff in console sometimes. You might have seen me struggle with it in a previous episode. So we were landscaping around some kind of station. But it really is oftentimes just like a sort of puzzle piece game to get the coverage that you want and fill in those gaps. So it takes time, it takes a little bit of focus, but I think you'll see when I pop back out of here, the results are worth it. It is labor intensive, don't get me wrong, but to me it's not that dissimilar from fencing, right? Which the whole principle of that is that I'm doing that even though it takes time, even though it slows things down, because I really want a special look, and it's easier to accomplish that as you go than to try and always bring it in after the fact, which could necessitate major redevelopment or other things like that. So there we go. See, now that's kind of looking like a weird little unkempt zone for this sort of space in between what was easily developable and what was not. I wonder now if I could still add a couple of trees back through here. If I can find a spot. Down through here, I think. They did add a lot of nice new tropical trees in that new tree pack, which I'm really excited about. Really add a lot of variety now to some of these spots. Back into here. It's the Chinese windmill palm. I don't know why I thought it was some kind of mangrove tree in that last episode. Forgive me. Drop a row of these right in here. Throw some more in next to the bookstore. Wonderful. These are also a really effective way to fill in. And I wonder if they wouldn't almost be better from a color perspective, or if we just add a couple where we can through here. The thing is, I keep taking out my trees. Okay, I am liking this for adding some texture into what's going on back here. That's a pretty nice fill right there, I think. So, I'm going to do that for a couple more spots here. Alright, so I just wanted to show all of that kind of in real time. Making that first fill, and then you can kind of see here the strategy for the second is even, this is typically the go-to, like I was talking about a little earlier. Drop those like big sort of feature piece ploppables in first. You know, for this I'm using a very tropical setup of the content creator trees and the vanilla trees and bushes here, so palms, all kinds of palms, coconuts, California palms. And then now I'm just using that content creator long grass, I think it's called, and trying to puzzle piece it in here in a way that is going to feel a little realistic. Like, this is tricky, right? Because it's just the same asset over and over, and it does vary the size a little bit. It does not, as far as I can really tell, vary color very much like some of the other plant assets do. But I am just a really huge fan of this. I don't know the creator behind it, but even just like bringing it very slowly along the road here so it doesn't look like there's any mowed grass in this area. That's what I love, is you know, to really make a place feel real. There's going to be parts of it that are unkempt unless there's funding for all of it. And if this isn't somebody's property, nobody's going to mow it if the city's not going to mow it. You know, eventually maybe this neighborhood would put in for some kind of mowing, but some of these cliffs and these valleys back in between these houses, there's just, it would be so unsafe to take a mower back there, so why would you? And that's why I love creating these little unkempt areas back here. It would be much easier with Anarchy, but you can still do a lot in Vanilla Console here, as you can see. I mean, look at that. And then just adding some more greenery to kind of make this all feel more real. You'll see a lot of landscaping. A lot of these houses will come with a couple of trees, but especially with the fencing, it's all going to feel very spread out. But you do have a little bit of a grace period or grace area here and there, depending on, you know, the build of the house and everything, where you can shove some trees into these lots. There's so much we can do with the landscaping here. These big bushes are another favorite of mine. I've used them in a ton of cities to do this same effect because they layer together so well, and you could really create like an overgrown look so easily. Wasn't happy with the color of them here, so I'm just bringing back in some more of those big tropical plants, which I really love again for this. I've used them a lot in tropical cities in the past for that same sort of overgrown effect. I think they're really nice. Here you see I went a little too fast with it, and yeah, the game just created too much space between them because it couldn't get them all in as quickly as I was moving. So that's about as close as you get to prop line tool in Vanilla Console, is just to move your cursor very, very slowly. Anyway, thanks for letting me indulge a little editorial creativity, jumping in here in post. Let me know if you liked it or not. I think I might do it again if there's other detail-heavy episodes in the future. Just have to see. You know, I'm still pretty new to all this video stuff, so appreciate your patience as I sort of experiment and kind of figure out what works for me. I mean, I'm basically using Twitch as my capture card right now, so you know, I have some technical limitations, obviously, but I think that's in the spirit of putting up a series on Vanilla Console City Skylines. Anyway, back to me for one last time for the sign-off here. Thanks for tuning in. Honestly, kind of loving this. That said, there's still a lot of detailing to do here, and I don't want this episode to get too long, so I'm going to cut it there. If you're watching on stream, feel free to hang out. I think I'm just going to keep cruising here. If you're watching on YouTube, stay tuned for the next episode. Hope to see you soon.